ReZero, Season 2, Episode 9. I love these conversations with Echidna. Wow, this is incredible. Finally, somebody who understands us and is on our side and rooting for us. Yeah, unfortunately I became aware through my odor. They can smell me. I think she loves you, likes you. That's really interesting. For a witch whose sin is greed, and that greed being reflected through her thirst for information and knowledge, for her to be so repulsed that she takes no interest in the mind of arguably the most interesting figure in the world is a lot. I'm interested in how the Witch of Envy's mind works. This is a really important question. This is a big question. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it felt that way. So it's a modern era game, not a Super Nintendo game, because those are hard as hell and no one likes them. I'm old enough to remember a time where games were not always something that were meant to be beat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. We're getting some answers. I think the reading of this is that it confirms that the witch is attached to a specific outcome, that this is for her. It's not some test or some challenge. It's a goal, a project. Of course, it's good to know there's no permanent death, but I think the sinister implication of that is that you have no choice but to move towards this objective that Envy presumably wants. And so there's this feeling like everything you do that is right might be leading to something later that is much more wrong, and maybe even undoes all the things you did that you thought were right. And also, unlike modern games, it seems like there's no new game feature, though maybe there's a new game plus. Delusion, that's interesting. Yeah, another big question. Right, yes. Towards what? Towards what? Yeah, I think we already sort of knew this, but this is reality setting in. That's on you. It's on your soul. That's tough. Wow, I love you, Echidna. Thank you. In a world of no answers, she's just a shining ray of light. I'm ready to revisit the idea of drinking her liquid. The fact that the goal is only Subaru's survival is a subtle distinction, but I think it's really important. It opens up the game a lot. Now there's a lot more actionable things in Subaru's hands. The downside, obviously, is that also is a tremendous amount of responsibility and is insanely difficult, because you can't be everywhere at once. I think just mentally, the only healthy separation there is maybe somewhat similar to real life. You only can do the best you can for now. If you're just doing everything you think is right, working your hardest, and you know you're working your hardest, things are gonna go wrong. There is no perfect run here. Like the REM thing, he had no way of knowing that until after the checkpoint, and he didn't do that, though that's tough to really feel. I thought we were safe here. Oh, it's just dread. It's a pretty badass reading, but still dangerous. Self-effacing. Maybe it's the tea. It's also Subaru. He's learning. It's always so perilous, though. It's always so dangerous. Thank you, Echidna. Thank you for being a shining light in the darkness. I love you. That's so dry. You should be on your hands and knees. I'm very lonely. Okay. It's better. Foreshadowing? Oh yeah, this occurrence. Let's skip that one this time. Oh, it's ranked? Is it? Yeah, with the white whale. Let's skip the black serpent too while we're at it. Oh, they're all gluttony. Yeah, but the rabbit has numbers. Are they reproducing? I bet they're reproducing. Yeah. Man, that's hard. They're rabbits. Food is not the only thing it's gluttonous for. Wow. Yeah, my first instinct is to say just skip it, at least for now. You're gonna have to come across it eventually if you want to do good in this world. But when he encountered it the last time, it seems like that was the result of a misstep. We were trying to get to the mansion and we got sidetracked with Garf, everyone's favorite. Can we phone a friend? Can we call Reinhardt? Oh, it's in the sanctuary. This is a lot, and there's still this whole mystery.
本当に危険で
Oh, bring it. Whatever.
暴食の魔女ダフネと話す機会を与えるとそう言ったら君はどうする
Oh, yeah, for sure.
魔女ってのはみんな死んでるはずだろ
Well, so is Echidna.
僕の存在をより代に貸せばねその間僕と彼女らは文字通り
Oh, yeah, let's just do it. I'm down. I also just realized it's possible all of them are inside of Subaru. Because this is some kind of temporal plane. They could all just be happening in his mind. Though, they are at her tomb.
精神体に死を思わせるほどの傷が入れば肉体に戻っても心はひび割れたままだ
I mean, if your mind can survive getting eaten alive by rabbits... Is it?
やめておくかい
I'm doing it, just like I'm reading the Bible.
大ウサギの生みの親だろ倒すヒントはそいつに聞くのが一番手っ取り早い
I'm probably underestimating, but like, what is she gonna do with... Just don't drink her tea. Don't drink anything or eat anything that she gives you.
絶対に解いてはいけない。
拘束
Okay,
そ
alright.
れから彼女に触れるのも禁止だ。
Alright, there's magical power
目
too.
を合わせるのも避けた方がいいよ。
それ全部守ると死ぬほど感じ悪い
Subaru's faced with the fear of mental death, but that just flies away in the face of the greatest danger, social awkwardness.
健闘を祈る。
Wow, we're getting a 2 for 1.
やっと
Okay, it's not what I was expecting.
はってなんですか
Don't look her. Well, I'm looking at her now. I don't care.
それな
Not so tough.
失礼ってやつだぞ
I'm letting her out of her restraints too. I'm going all in.
お前は
He's looking her right in the eye too.
バレな
So we're all aware of Subaru. We're all watching.
悪人なのか
Sometimes I feel like I am.
握ればいいのか
Don't touch her.
それより聞きたいことがあるんだ
Wait, isn't she's not restrained?
痛くないってことは悪人じゃないってことだ
This is a very dark Harry Potter sorting hat. Turns out Subaru was Gryffindor all along. Oh god. This isn't real, so.
トガはくさびとなって決して逃さず
Where are her restraints? I didn't see any restraints.
基本の目的はおしまいなあとは
Oh, that's not her.
醜かろうが美しかろうが浮世にいるならことごとく無事に帰れないと
Oh, she's Sailor Moon. We are meeting all of them.
私の憤怒が
Wrath.
拳の怒りが私の答えだ
They should all be restrained, not just gluttony. Also, can we have Echidna back?
泣いてなんかない怒ってるだけそうよ私は怒ってる
I'm only crying because of the adrenaline.
私は憤怒の魔女ミネルヴァ
Yeah.
名乗るほどのものじゃないわ
名乗ってんじゃねえか
All of these witches, despite their eccentricities, are still nicer to Subaru than Ram.
次は見ない足にするわよ
皆殺しみたいに言うなよ
Come here and get healed.
テューフォンミネルヴァ
Yeah, this is not... I was expecting... I thought it was gluttony. Gluttony's probably coming, though. What the hell's that?
ダフネに何が聞きたいんですか
This is
ス
Daphne.
バル
Okay, she actually is restrained.
あんまり長く起きてたくないのでつまんない話しないでくださいね
It's very slothful of you, Gluttony.
お前が作った三大魔獣の
How do I
話だ
defeat a million rabbits all at the same
三大
time?
魔獣
By the way, your whale is dead and I killed it.
お前はあんな化け物を何のために作ったんだよ
白芸大きいですよねあの子食べると
Yes.
たくさんの人が満足します
That's what I was saying! She's on my
ウ
side!
サギなんていくらでも増えるんですよ
Oh, it's infinite meat! Turns out Daphne was the answer to the economy this whole time.
魔獣に満たされるより奪われる人の
相手を
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
自分が食べられる可能性を考えないのってちょっと勝手すぎませんか食欲って生きていく中で一番大事な欲求なんで
This
す
is
よ
really interesting.
心が満たされても食べられなかったら人は死んじゃうんですよ
お前の言ってることを
You gotta admit, yeah, there's something in there.
ダフネとウサギちゃんがどんな世界に生きてるか
There's a lot of interesting things in there. I think most people who live in relatively reasonable conditions, they don't know the full depths of what they are yet, or at least it's untested because you only know the you that's well fed. It might not be the same you exactly. It might not be you at all in any recognizable form. If like you were literally on the verge of death from hunger constantly. It's that sticker slogan, you're not you when you're hungry, except really, really dark. One of my favorite books, Man's Search for Meaning, is a great inquiry into this state. Then also, while not explicitly stated, there's also the idea in here of, in a weird way because of affluence, we've sort of been divorced from work and reward. We just have a lot of stuff abundantly that we didn't always have historically, ancestrally. And so it's easy to take it for granted. And there's possibly a danger in detaching reward from underlying virtuous action. I think you can see this with pets and children, where it's obvious that if you're punishing for no reason, that's damaging and destructive. What's less obvious, but I think is part of the same thing, is if you reward for no reason, you're removing the lesson, you're removing the meaning of the thing. So a kid who gets praised and rewarded for everything, whether it's good behavior or bad behavior or no behavior, just doesn't know how to act in the world and gets a little bit desperate trying to find those boundaries, because everybody needs some level of structure to know that life isn't a void, that there's a scale of good and bad choices. I think you also see this in broader ideology, where we treat the world as if the abundance we experience and the things that we have are a default of life and not a function of the things that we did correctly to get here. It's like, yeah, your food needs to bite back. It's easy to think that it's a given, it's a default, it just generates, but it's generations and generations, it's thousands of years of struggle to get to that point. It can be very easily undone if we're not careful. It's not something to be taken for granted or treated as the baseline. It's not the baseline, it's very high. Resources are not infinite and the system is delicate and fragile, and you can't legislate or print value. I think if we had the collective memory of our ancestors, or were more directly involved in the processes by which we obtain our resources, it wouldn't preclude anyone from trying to improve things. I'm guessing it would make us tread a lot more lightly in the things we aim to take down and destroy. We would be much less frivolous about the complexities of the benefits we have. I think this also extended into, or perhaps there's some circular relationship, into the domain of social psychology or maybe spirituality, where the message I think we frequently get is that we're already perfect, that we're already special. But there's another half of that equation that's similar to the food thing, where it's like, well, that specialness exists as something like your potential and your ability and your capabilities, but you have to do something to kind of earn it. Or maybe it's something like the Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. There's a contract there, and that other half is kind of forgotten. It's a great thing to be able to grow into yourself. That's the adventure of one's lifetime. But that outlook robs people of that very thing. This is maybe one of the great incongruities of our time. I remember thinking about this a lot as a teenager. I just couldn't figure it out. Where I believed, like, yeah, I'm special. I know I'm special. I know I'm great. But why do I feel so empty? Nobody at that time bothered to tell me, maybe because they didn't know themselves, that you're not born with that side of the equation. You have to make it. Cue Subaru's I never did anything. You have the power, you have to pick up the responsibility. You want the reward, well, you have to do the work. Without the work element of it, without the deserving element of it, it's maybe impossible for anything to even be a reward. Great mana source as a lure. Can you give me a rough estimate about how many there are? Hive mind. I mean, they're just rabbits, after all. What, are you afraid of rabbits? It sounds like she created them for food. It was a gift, just in a very bizarre way. I don't know if you want to let that on. It sounds like she would agree that if you can do it, then it's okay. It doesn't seem like she's rooting for one side or another. I'll let her out, see what happens. I already did it once. That wasn't exactly discouraging, it was just good luck. I have my doubts. That was fun, that was worth it. You could have warned me about the other two witches though. Echidna really is the best. The one who I've been accused of being an archbishop for. Come to think of it, her behavior was similar to like the fake Subaru we were seeing for a while. She did, actually, for once. These witches are turning out to be very charitable with their information. And the most beautiful, and I love you. You're the best. I will drink your liquid. You just gotta butter them up. Butter them up. Now is the time for bodily fluids and cookies. No, this is wrong. What happened? Amelia's crying. It wasn't me. Amelia, who? I think the result is Subaru just does it. There's no time. There's only 4 days. We gotta do so much. We gotta kill rabbits. I'm with Echidna. He's gotta do it, man. Yeah, Amelia's desires are noble, but I think it's too much about her wanting the image or the meaning of what doing the thing would say about her other than the actual doing of the thing. I don't think she really wants to confront her past or is ready for that. She wants to like be the kind of person who is strong enough to confront her past and save people, which is subtly different. This is an embarrassing example, but there was a time when I was walking along a river with a friend of mine in high school. And at that moment in my life, I was very fixated on the idea that fear was the biggest and maybe only obstacle to life, that if I could somehow conquer conquer fear, everything would be perfect and I could do whatever I wanted. All my wildest dreams would come true. And I was confronted with the fact that I was very afraid of a lot of things. And stopping to look in the river, the thought occurred to me that in the quest to overcome fear, I should just jump into this river right now. I should not be afraid to do it. If I can't do this, I can't do anything. And I just got stuck there in this ridiculous thought for way too long. The answer, of course, is that there's no reason to jump in the river. Fear is a good thing to try to confront to the things that actually matter. But overcoming the fear there is subsidiary. It's a means to the end of something else, which is the important thing. And then if you know the important thing, then you can do whatever it takes. And you don't know what you're capable of yet, but you can just assume that you are capable of it or will become capable of it when the need arises, when you are really willing and ready to do so. I think often I got it backwards where it's like I was trying to inhabit the qualities of the person I wanted to be rather than becoming the person I wanted to be and letting those qualities develop naturally out of necessity towards that goal. Another example is in high school, you want to be cool, so you act out the qualities that you think are cool. A cool person would say this, a cool person would do this, but it's backwards. Not that Amelia completing the trial isn't important or useful, but there's an obvious solution here. There's no need to get stuck in the identity of the thing.
お前の性格の悪い試練には俺が挑む。もともとそのつもりでいたんだ。
性格が悪いまでは言わなくてもいいんじゃないかな。
I also think maybe she's trying to help Subaru with the trials. She helped him with the past stuff.
お前は物知りだし。
And you're the best and so pretty and I love
君
you.
の死に戻りを知っているからね。
And you're the only one who understands me.
もちろん忘れてもらっちゃ困るよ。それなら
What do you
や
want?
っぱりこれかな。
Oh, okay, yeah, you could have it.
心配しなくてもここは精神世界だ。
It's a
外に
key
戻
item.
った時に消えてなくなるわけじゃない。
Oh, it's even better.
君を心から案じていたんだよ。その思いはバカにできない。
Whoops, I feel attacked.
確かに。
She just got the feeling of love. That's all she wanted was love. That's all they really want, maybe. It's in the gospel.
3度目の茶会に来ることがあれば。その時、今度は僕
Oh, that's exciting. Can you just tell us now, quickly? Quickly, just say it. Okay. Well, I guess that's good because it means there will likely be a third time. I need more Echidna in my life.
覚えてる。
Amelia's already gone?
エミリアが俺を起こしたんじゃないのか。
Amelia woke up from her trial to find her knight just sleeping, just taking a nap. Or was it something... What the hell is going on?
エミリアどうだ。返事をしてくれ。ラム、リュウズさん。
Could it really change this much just from taking a little nap? I blame Garf for whatever this is. No way. Why are you here? Hello?
愛してる。愛してる。
Oh, it's Amelia's voice too.
愛してる。
Whoa, what the hell is going on? Wait, maybe this is Amelia.
愛してる。
This ASMR though. What do you do in this situation? Is it because he went through the witches thing and met all the other witches that activate something? Alright, Garf actually doing something good, maybe. Though again, I want to see where that was going.
文句なんかねえよ。ただ俺を助けてくれるとは思わなかったから。
Yeah, also, given the fact that Garf was so quick to misunderstand it based on his body odor, from his perspective, he just saw Subaru hugging the Witch of Envy. Is it not way more suspicious than any of the flimsy evidence he had before? Man, though, that I love you scene, kind of great. I mean, it doesn't seem hostile. Again, a missed opportunity for questions, but okay. Thanks, Garf.
状況が見えてねえ。
It's gotta be Amelia.
今大事なのはあれの首を噛みちぎる方。
We gotta tread really carefully here. This is like below the plan, below the initial plan.
なんとかしてあれを倒して。やろう。
This is not the part of the game where you're ready for the last boss. This is the part where you lose to the last boss as a preview.
結界から出るつもりか。
But also the one where the last boss loves you. Oh, this is Persona 5. Different kind of love.
屋敷だ。あの魔女ロズワルの屋敷に行こうとしてやがる。
Maybe this will work out? I don't know.
これ以上
It's better than rabbits.
やらせてたまるかよ。
We just don't understand enough again, once again. Maybe she can take out Elsa for us. Maybe she's doing it for Subaru. Who knows? I mean, it's gotta be Amelia. It's either a red herring that it's Amelia or it's Amelia because she's not there. One possibility being that she's just overwhelmed and without Subaru to comfort her, it weakens her barrier and lets the Witch of Envy, who obviously has some connection to Amelia or presence, take over. It's also possible that because we're dealing with weird timelines here, that the Witch of Envy is just future Amelia, and so Amelia always has that latent potential.
やれやれどうも運がないよもや試練の成否もわからないとは
Finally gets out of bed after 8 episodes.
私は喜んで堂々しよう
Are you one of them?
地獄を生きるのなら私はその地獄をこそ望む
He never got out of bed after all.
間違えないようにね夏希スバル
He doesn't seem too surprised by it. Interesting. I wonder if that's a witch's cult gospel or the other one in the pair of gospels of which Beatrice has one that is sort of all-knowing to a very limited extent. That was kind of the perfect ending because we're going in circles a lot. Like, I actually felt a little bit disappointed to leave Echidna again because the Echidna scenes are just so great and getting to meet the witches is so great, and it's the only opportunity really we get to have any real answers into this world. And I was like, oh no, we gotta come out and do that same conversation again and talk to Amelia again. Yeah, I know it's not your fault. Not to be unsympathetic to Amelia, but like, once you've already been through it 3 or 4 times and you don't know if that iteration is going to be permanent, it's hard to give the proper attention to it. And instead we get like the actual Witch of Envy, it seems, which is awesome. And her take on Subaru is just like absolute adoration and just supreme love, she calls it. Though I'm guessing that the love she's exhibiting here is going to tie into like the sort of weird conceptualizations of love with all the question marks that contains that we've seen from characters so far, where yeah, it's in there. That's not the whole story, right? Like a lot of the good qualities and some of Subaru's growth. It's like, yes, there is something positive there, but it's not the end of the journey. There's still a trap there. The love can't really be full love for Subaru if this is what he has to be put through. There's definitely going to be selfishness in the Witch of, and saying that out loud now seems ridiculous, but nevertheless, the witches as a whole are just so fascinating and have some of the most interesting philosophical takes. Gluttony, very pleasant surprise, like better than the archbishops even. That idea of hunger being such a prominent and misunderstood force and how that connects to a bigger idea of being detached a little bit from nature and reality due to our successes, sort of punished by our success. I sometimes think that the quest of the modern age, since we're already proving really adept at material growth and innovation that allows for greater infrastructure to promote and increase abundance, that the battleground will be finding meaning, having been divorced through that very process of material growth from what used to be our attention and purpose. Anyway, really phenomenal episode, and great way to continue this cycle while also raising the stakes and the intrigue.